part of a smaller project, or is that your project? How'd you start? Like, what was your journey like?
I am the founder of IMSO, which is the Intergalactic Monkey Space Odyssey. In May of 2021, we were coming to the end of a bull market for Bitcoin and starting to trade a lot of altcoins. Back then on Clubhouse, my community was focused around teaching people how to do technical analysis and understanding the market, because I wanted to teach people how to be participants instead of victims. I wanted people to feel like when they were making decisions in this market, they were making them willfully, because then you can kind of take responsibility for your own mistakes, versus my last experience with crypto, which began in 2014 and ended in 2016. And there's a lot of things that it cost me: 2,000 Ethereum, 30 something Bitcoin, millions of Doges, millions of, like a bunch of shit coins, like one was called like Bitbean, like that ended up like blowing up. Right. Yeah. So, and all this stuff, I should have had millions of dollars in 2017, and I didn't. And it kind of made me start to like reflect on myself and think, crypto isn't bullshit. It was hard. Right. But I came to terms with, hey, you're a dumbass, not an idiot. Right. Like, there's a big difference there, right? You weren't wrong, but you were stupid, So I vowed to myself never to be dumb again. And I had convinced myself that not everybody could have lost money, or else Bitcoin never could have hit 20K. And this was still when it was around like $10,000. It hadn't hit 20K yet. But I was thinking to myself, well, who made money then? If people like me who believed in it and told everyone about it, and at the time I didn't know what capitulation meant, but I capitulated before I even knew the definition of that word. So in 2017, I vowed to myself that if I could I do well in things that I've done in life, even though none of it's like miraculous. Like like right now, even without years of practice, I'm hands down one of the best repair technicians for electronics. I know that sounds really lame to say, but I'm talking like really high level IC chip replacements on motherboards, and like resetting iCloud accounts on Apple devices, and bringing dead MacBooks back to life, and like stuff that requires microscope and a steady hand and an incredible amount of computer engineering knowledge. But there was always this fantastic feeling of taking something broken or meaningful to someone and either repairing it, replacing it, or making it better for that person. And I found myself that problem solving was just something that I was really into. So when I started learning technical analysis, I took to it really quickly. And luckily, it was like right when the bear market was about to come at us, because I really did a lot of my learning at the end of 2017 into 2018. I didn't really have an opportunity to just buy anything and it go up. It was more like invest in things and it's starting to go down permanently, right? Like for a long time, we wound up in a 3-year bear market, right? So like during that first year, I started to kind of, separate my emotions and accept that it was a downward spiral. Did wishy-washy, lost like 50 grand of money I couldn't really afford to lose. I made that by building mining rigs and selling mining rigs for a profit, because that was what I did in 2014 was mining. So like I just kind of took that same path, but all the money I made from instead of building miners and mining, I built miners, sell it for $1,000 profit, build another miner, sell it for $1,000 profit. Third miner. Now this time I build 2 miners, both $1,000 profit, do that 2 times. Now I have 3 miners. And I had like $50,000 worth of profits that I gambled away, not like trying to learn the basics. And then it kind of like hit me how important it was and like how much I was fucking up. And I just like had a real conversation with myself after listening to a book called Trading in the Zone several times about like emotional control and shit like that. And essentially in 2019, it just like clicked. And sorry, my cat wants to talk about it too. In 2019, it clicked. And then in 2020, I was given the most wonderful opportunities in the world with the COVID scare. And then by
Yeah.
2021, my life was changing, not substantially, like,
Mhm.
but from where we were at, a dude who was making, $15 to $17 an hour. Then I was making somewhere in the 20s. I was getting paid 50, 60,000, which before COVID's pretty good, and my girl was making, before COVID, we were still bringing like almost 100K a year.
That's really good.
It just wasn't like,
Mhm.
I don't know, man, it wasn't fulfilling. Right.
Yeah.
And, after my first taxes in 2021 that were significantly more dramatic than 2020, that was crazy. And then 2021 was even crazier than any of that because it was actually a bull market, right?
Yeah.
So dude, it was crazy. So anyway, in 2021, early parts of 2021, I joined Clubhouse thinking I'm going to find other traders. I don't find other traders. I find victims and people who are basically being taken advantage of because they're like entering the final portions of this market. So I try to go into the maxi groups and some of the other communities and explain to them their opportunity and how, the charts work, blah, blah, blah. No one wants to hear it. Turns out they're all just trying to funnel people into their pyramid schemes, Swan Bitcoin, blah, 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 affiliate links, yada, yada, trying to get people to buy Emacs and Shiba, or not Shiba, that actually worked out. Keisha Inu and this one and that one, and just like all this bullshit. I even helped this company called Pussy.Financial hire Riff Raff for $25,000 to make a rap song called Pussy.
Scratching at my back door. He scratched so hard, poor pussy got sore pussy.
Which is actually on his YouTube. One of his more seen videos is the Pussy Financial song. So I helped him hire an airplane to fly over Bitcoin to Miami in 2021. It said buy pussy, sell Doge, like just crazy shit. Okay, like
you guys send me this
shit.
video. Crazy guy, send me this video.
It's ridiculous, dude. So that was the kind of stuff that I did to teach my community things. Like, this is how shitcoins work. This is a fun one we're going to play with, not just be part of it and hope it pump and dumps. We're actually going to go heads in. We're going to help them with this, help them with that. It all flopped at the end. All of it did, right? But my community was just based on these people who wanted to just understand how scams work and understand how marketing worked and understand how hype and technical analysis and Bitcoin is king and all this shit, right?
Yeah.
Matter of fact, you can see here, this is actually a really unique time for me because I never use Google Meets for any of these. They always send me StreamYard links. You see that my name on here is actually not Solana Chris.
It's Bitcoin is king.
That's because that's how people knew me. But it was very hard to explain my conviction on Solana and have people understand that when we're saying we're building games and we're building this and we're building that we are doing it for Solana. So there's a gentleman named Soul Big Brain, who's one of the biggest influencers on Solana. And he had helped he minted our project. He didn't help us do shit. He minted 10 of our first of our overlords in January of 2022. And him posting that he minted 10 set off a chain reaction that the rest of our NFTs got minted. It was only 500 pieces, but it was a little over $100,000. And that was exactly what we needed to basically start building out the Intergalactic Monkey Space Odyssey, dropping the Evolved Chimps. And so with that moment, he told me though, you need to rebrand yourself, not just in your bio, but people need to know you are Chris from IMSO. And your page can't be Bitcoin is king and all this other stuff that represents IMSO. It all has to be IMSO, and you have to be Chris from IMSO. And after thinking about that for a while, like a couple weeks, I became IMSO with a chimp emoji, parentheses, Solana Chris, right? So that people understood from the very beginning what the Intergalactic Monkey Space Odyssey was, who I was. Because you have to think, dude, I'm on spaces with all these people, and I've had Elon Musk tell me on stage, Dogecoin to the moon, right? That was me who got that viral moment when he said Dogecoin to the moon on spaces. He was talking to me. Okay. So I've had some experiences. I've met Mike Shinoda here. I've met, BT and me became friends, which is a legend in the trance music space. So I've met so many different celebrities and so many different friendships that I've established here that it just became a thing where it was okay, they'll know by hearing you that you know enough about Bitcoin and you know enough about these other things. When they hear you and they're blown away by the knowledge that you're bestowing, and this is to new people, I'm not proclaiming to be some sort of expert, but like the knowledge that you bestow to people who are basically victims in this space, you want to let them know that you fuck with Solana so that there's, so that they can't get scammed, so that they can't get fished. Like, so I just really embrace the Solana Chris thing. But at the end of the day, my original 20,000 followers came to me as Bitcoin is king. And, with the Solana, so this is where we get to Axie Infinity and everything. In May of 2021, Axie Infinity is blowing up. We're making trades on it. People are doing well on it. And they asked me, Chris, don't you think this is such a cool concept? We know you have a history of gaming and you're very experienced in technology. Would you ever consider doing like an NFT project that was related to gaming? And I said, as a person who played at top tier Warcraft for years and League of Legends beta account, ranked 500 in the world and Dead or Alive Ultimate, tattoo on my leg, Gears of War from an MLG tournament when I was like 19. So I've taken Midwest tournaments and Halo doubles with my friend Kyle. So I've from Halo to DOA, which is a fighting game, to like third person shooters like Gears of War, to League of Legends, to World of Warcraft. I'm just usually a little bit better at video games. And if I get consumed by something, as you've seen in this space, I become obsessed with it. And I just focus on improvement and weak points until I figure it out, right? And maybe that's that problem solving.
That's a good thing to have. Really good skill.
Yeah, that I have. So this was my statement to my community. If there were ever a blockchain that was fast enough and had a robust enough programming language that would make sense that you could build a product with Unreal Engine or other actual game engines, and that you could incorporate this blockchain into that so that you could provide ownership and rewards to people for spending time in your ecosystems, well, then I would totally be down to do it. But it would have to be something where you could build like Steam on chain, and then maybe that would make sense to me. And then a guy, because I was pretty big into the Polkadot ecosystem and concept ideologies, not like a big investor or anything, but just like really open-minded to that layer zero ideology. And a gentleman who was very tight with me named Alex Hodham, older guy, very experienced, wealthy in the crypto space, says, Chris, I feel like you might have described Solana. Have you looked into it? And I said, I know about Solana, and we started trading it around $18, and it was around 22 when me and him had this conversation. He said, look, dude, they've got a lot of good developers and a lot of infrastructure there. Maybe you should look into Solana and see how it's similar to Polkadot, but also different.
Yeah.
And maybe that would be a good jumping point for you. So I started learning about Solana. I do find it fascinating. I still don't have a drive to do an NFT project. Then Axie Infinity hits its top, starts to pull back. We start to see a whole bunch of scams and bullshit excuses and pump and dumps and token sinks into the space. And then something really incredible happens in May of 2021. And I think it's interesting that people here now in 2023 aren't remembering this. But in May of 2021 is when the government told us for the very first time that they have seen UFOs and that they were having that there were concerns of these things that they were not familiar with, and that credible resources and all that, the first time they disclosed this potential possibility to us was literally in May of 2021. So I'm on Clubhouse. There's hundreds of people in our space, as there normally is. We're having TA, and then we're having joke time, and people are coming up and asking me questions. And someone came up and asked me a question about the aliens. And I said, motherfucker, you don't give a fuck about no aliens, dude. He said, yes, I do. I said, no, you don't. I said, why would you care if mom and dad were coming home? He said, who's mom and dad? I said, it's your mom and dad, motherfucker. You're made out of the stars, bro. What are you talking about? I said, what do you think? Well, you think humans just got here? You think we was just a little cell? I said, no, aliens came down, they fucked monkeys, and now you're here. So thank the booty clapping of the aliens and the monkeys. And people are laughing, they're unmuting. We've got people raising their hands, going ape shit in Discord. People think, they think I'm a stand-up comedian right now. I'm just roasting the fact that no one is scared of aliens because in our deepest, darkest core, it's like, yo, that's your creator, right? You don't know. We don't know. We don't know. It could all be human technology for all we know, right? DARPA could be on some next level shit. We just don't understand it, right?
DARPA.
But like, yeah. So like at the end of the day, I call Alex and I go, bro, what if there were overlords that came to Earth and evolved chimps to become human, basically? You think we could tell that story through NFTs? And he said, dude, not only do I think we could tell that story, I think people would really be into it. And so that's where the overlords came from. And then there were robotic chimps that were built by the overlords. We have like a whole 2-minute video that sums up that entire story in like 2 minutes. But basically, that's what happened is one thing led to another. Market was chaotic. I saw bearish sentiment coming into the market. I thought, okay, if we're going to do this, let's do this. Let's get whatever we can get together from the community and let's see if anybody's interested. And it was basically funded, from the people that I was teaching trading to and other things that we were doing from the clubhouse front and, sponsorship money and shit like that I was considering, all kind of went out the window because like, dude, I don't want to be like an influencer. Like I didn't come to Clubhouse to be an influencer, dude. I came to Clubhouse to find other good traders so that I could get better at trading. And I found out that a lot of people fucking suck ass at trading and are straight lying to your face to profit from you because they're pieces of shit. So I was like, okay, well, I can't in good conscience just sit back and listen to you all be taken advantage of. And I sure as fuck am not about to do the same thing to you. That's crazy. How do these motherfuckers sleep at night? So I thought, no one asked me, bro. No one asked me to come in and save a hoe. But I thought, yo, I'm about to come in and save a hoe. There's so much shit going on Clubhouse. It was so dark, dude. So we just kind of started that. And we had a big ass community, super active. And then, everything fell apart. And then what ended up happening was when we broke off into NFTs, a lot of my user base that was into trading, they kind of left the community. And all I was left with was people who believed in what was happening, people who were dedicated to the TA and dedicated to IMSO and who were interested in being on this journey with us that now we've been on for about 2 years. You know what I'm saying? And so like, it's not that we're these, we're really good builders and we build very fast, but we have an incredible amount of experience and resources to pull from because we've been in this space, like during the entire bear market. Like we started building right as the whole market fell apart and we have not stopped building through all of the capitulation and bullshit. And we have watched 50, 60, 70, 80 projects that were well known fall off, thousands of rugs occur, and IMSO is still here kicking. And the only projects that are doing well are like projects that are either new, false narrative, Ponzi scheme, casino. But somehow we just survive through all of it with no VC backing, no additional funding. Everything's community oriented, coming off the backs of me or the team or the sacrifices we make and our community, buying into anything that we offer in limited supply to get us through to the next goal point, right? And that's even what happened with Bitmaps. So like it all goes back to this stupid, silly story. And now we've come so far and we've built across multiple chains. We can basically plug any game or website into any blockchain or all blockchains that are requested by the user. And so then this gives us the ability to build utilities and frameworks that span across all kinds of different projects and can work with like any consensus type. Doesn't matter what the consensus type is. Proof of history, proof of stake, proof of work. We can figure we can work within the boundaries of the tokenomics of anything. BRC20s are like the only thing that's ever presented us with a challenge because they're mostly bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we're hoping that the TAP standard helps a little bit, but we can do whatever, dude. And it's been a long time coming. That's basically what I should have said 30 minutes ago.